Good evening and welcome to the Job Search Solution radio program, where we talk about looking for a job, changing jobs, changing careers, hiring. And as always, we begin with a prayer. Dear God, grant us thy peace and thy mercy, thy will be done. And in just a few minutes, as we always do every Wednesday evening, Rich Stavinsky is going to be with us talking about consultants in the workplace and some of the issues that have come about in consulting today. If you want a free book on how to find a job, send me your email address or your address, tony@babich.com. That's TONY at BABICH.com, and we'll send you a free book. What I want to talk about this evening is something that happens in every job searcher's life, and that's other people. People that love them, people that are their spouses, their cousin, mother, brother, uncle, father, mother, distant cousin, mentor, old teachers, old bosses, always a group of people that have opinions about you and your career. I respect that. I think it's wonderful that these kind of people are willing to help you, but I encourage you to take it with a grain of salt, more like a big chunk of salt. The reason this came up was last week, I had a candidate who every time I got him an interview, he consulted with his mentor, is what he said. It was his father's friend of his father's. And the guy had no particular knowledge or experience about finding a job. He had no particular knowledge about anybody else of what the market is out there, of what the candidate was being faced with, and all of that. He was just a friend of his father's that the kid respected. He's not that much of a kid, but the young fellow respected and liked him a lot. And the guy was a controller at a company. He didn't have any more knowledge of what the job market was like than the man in the moon, but he was a figure of authority to this kid. So he was giving this kid advice. And the advice couldn't be any further off base than the way it was. This guy didn't know anything about what the market would bear for this kid. This guy didn't know anything about how this kid's experience stacked up with other people's experience. He had no idea what his competition was. The kid happened to be in sales, and the mentor was a controller at about $100 million company. I'm sure he knew a lot about accounting and finance, and I'm sure he was a nice guy and he was well intended, but he didn't know what he was talking about when it came to this kid and the market. And it led me to reinforce the fact that lots of times people that are involved in these situations have any idea what they're talking about when it comes to your job and you finding a job. They don't know the market. They don't know what your competition is. They have absolutely no idea what's out there, what's available. And they don't know how your experience or your background match up to it. They can give sometimes very faulty advice. So I'm not saying don't get advice from these people. Yeah, get advice, but take it with a big chunk of salt. Because unless they're involved in the market on a daily basis, unless they're involved in the job market, and they know what's out there, and they know how your experience fits with other people's experience, and how you stack up with the competition, there's no way in the world they're going to know. People like that love you, or think highly of you at least, but especially family. They love you. They see you for all your good points. And they see that you would do real well in a lot of different situations. And you would if you got the chance to get the situation. there's a difference, and we've talked about it before on this program. There's a real big difference between getting the job and being able to do the job. Many of my candidates could do the jobs that I have, but that doesn't mean they're going to get them, because their experience, their background isn't as strong as other people's, and they are competing with other people for those kinds of positions. Your mentor, your uncle, even your mother, your father, your cousin, brother, uncle, whatever, they don't have any idea what's going on out in the marketplace unless they're in my profession or something similar to it. They have no idea who's out there. No, have no idea what you are going to be faced with as far as competition. So please take those opinions with a grain of salt. And when you come to me or anybody else like me, be open to what's the market like? What should I expect? What is my competition going to be like? How difficult is it, or how is it very difficult? Because those kinds of people have wonderful opinions and wonderful ideas, but they are uneducated ones. They have no idea what they might be saying, because they don't know the market. And it's very easy to slip into the mode that I'm one way, and I'm going to get a job in one area because my friends, my mentors, my uncle, my cousin, my rabbi, my priest tell me that I ought to make a good whatever, and there's no chance in the world that they might get that job. So keep that in mind. Take it with a grain of salt, and be very thankful, and take all the opinions as you can, but be very leery about people's opinions that aren't in the game every day dealing with it. All right, we're going to take a short break. Stay tuned. This is Tony Bashara with the Job Search Solution.